Howdy folks, Jabbapop Poppajobavich here. What's kicking? What's cooking in the kitchen? I got all my cabinets opened for you, so why don't you come in, let's find out together. Well, y'all know how much I love Aldi. It's going to be another Aldi Spectacular. We've got some new healthy, the equivalent to the Hot Pockets, only Aldi style. These are called lean something or other. You'll see when I show it to you. There's some great stuff. They got cheese and meatball goodness inside, and you won't have to watch your weight because these things watch it for you. They're healthy and cheap. How else better can you get? Yo, Jobs, my main man, how's it hanging? Hey Job, I really liked your Battlezone 2 vids, man. Keep 'em coming, the game is great, more people need to know about it, and you've got a real snazzy way of putting the game in a new perspective, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know, Battlezone 2 is a great game, I would tell all your friends about it. It's not for sale, but I wouldn't let that stop you. Pirate away, give exe files and zip files of the burned CD to all your friends, because it's the only way we're going to get more people playing this game. So how would you like to try one of these new Aldi brand Hot Pockets? I know how much you liked that microwave pizza last time. How about a microwave pocket? What gives, man? More frozen Aldi crap? How much of this stuff are you gonna shill over in my mouth? I come to a restaurant and I expect fresh food which lives up to the restaurant's good name. Not something that someone else made and you're trying to get rid of. Come on, dude. Well, like my mama always said, if you want to be happy for the rest of your life, find yourself an Aldi wife. Dude, in case you haven't noticed, I'm a homosexual. Men can get married too, you know. Who's the bigot now? Not in the state of Florida, they can't. Oh, well, geez, I thought gay marriage was in vogue. I didn't realize that down here in Florida it wasn't allowed. This is the hottest state of the nation, and suddenly you're not allowed to marry gays. That's crazy. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings. I'm not intolerant, despite the fact that my fellow residents may be. Yeah, well, tell that to Mark Rubio and his heartless conservative constituents. You know, I gotta tell you, sometimes these conservatives can be the most inverted, nonsensical reasoners. They're all for individual rights when it comes to gun controls or small government, but when it comes to things of the most human nature, the heart, love, they're all for controlling your life. It's crazy, man. They got no problem with the mega conglomerates shoving their shill down your throat, poisoning your mind. But when it comes to the most human thing on this planet, the human heart and love, they want to put you in their prison. Yes, I agree. Hate is bad. Hopefully history will flush all those bigots down the toilet, like it did with the Nazis, the Inquisitors, and all the other hate mongers throughout time. I sure as heck hope Rubio doesn't make it to the presidency. I would not want to see my great nation go the way the crapper along with the rest of them, because that could be bad. Though I do understand this kind of maddening, febrile race baiting, trying to get the new next Hispanic conservative Obama. I heard the last election, the Republicans really lost out to the Hispanic vote. They weren't planning them all voting for Obama. I just can't get over it. They picture us as vectors for disease, a bunch of perverts strolling the streets looking to give strangers venereal disease, flinging it right out of our penises. I never asked to be gay. I know straight people never asked to be straight. So why they keep asking me why I'm gay? It's such an incisive, detrimental thing they're up for. Conservatives aren't all that bad. They sure like God, and God is a swell guy in my book. They mask themselves under the guise of reason, but these question marks are scythes aimed straight to our necks. And that, my friend, is the true perversion. You're a swell guy in my book, Mike. I've got nothing against gays. In fact, if your life depended on it, I'd even suck your dick. Anyway, we've strayed too far off. Let's get back to, let's get religion and politics out of the kitchen. They're not ingredients for a good meal. They tend to spoil the meat, so to speak. Anyway, to the food. Since you want something fresh, something meaty, something that is not prepackaged, how about we try together to make up some meatballs? Those are always a quick treat, relatively. It'll be a while, though. I've never done this before. So in the meantime, why not do some USA Today crosswords? Crossword puzzles, eh? I tell you, I never have a crossword to say to anyone, but I sure love doing the puzzles. Alright, so these are the things we're gonna need, or I guess the things we're gonna use. I don't know if I need them or not, but we'll find out if they cook. Some market ground beef, which is just very standard quality, nothing too great, nothing too insane. Some salt, I guess, for flavor or to help it cook too. It does something. I don't know what. Some flour. You know, we're not baking a cake, but I heard if you put some flour in, it'll help it from sticking, and it'll give it a little bit more texture. Now, and always don't forget, this will help you heat up and brown those that beef, those balls on the pot right here. You gotta grease up your pot, right? And in terms of flavor, what I'm gonna go for is some parsley flakes. I'm not a flaky guy, but I like my parsley and flakes. Some minced onions. Let's not mince words. Onions got to be small enough to fit inside those meatballs. And some garlic powder. I know some people use garlic salt or diced garlic, but powder, keep it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. All right, so let's get it done. Alright, so I'm gonna get this beef here into the pot, or the big old bowl, because we gotta mix this all together first. It looks like, it's so disgusting. It looks like the inside of someone's intestines. This is why I've never cooked with meat, because I don't trust the way it looks. They say appearances can be deceiving. Can be is the key word here. Alright, so let's pour in some parsley. I don't know how much we're going to need. Never done this before, so let's do it until it looks right. Some salt. That might be too much salt, I think. I think I spilled some salt. That might be too much garlic too, but I mean, it is Mike Bronson is going to eat it, so you know, he'll stick anything in his mouth. Okay. I want to get a lot of onions. I love onions. I gotta be careful not to get my hands inside here. You know, cross-contamination is important to consider. That should be enough. Should be enough flour. Alright, you want to get a closer look into that puppy? Let's get those puppies going, right? That might be good to see. So I'm gonna mash it up with this. It's gonna be so disgusting. I'm like, ew, this was inside of an animal? This was the animal. You know, you love cows, right? I washed my hands first, FYI. I know I didn't show it, but I did. You're gonna have to take my word. Oh. Mommy. That's what this makes me think. It makes me like wish that I wasn't a human. It makes me wish I was like an abstraction who didn't have to deal with this. I mean, I know I eat meat and stick the stuff inside my mouth and inside my belly and eventually out of my butt, but it's still very like visceral. And if you think about it, like I mean, I don't even think about it like it was an animal. I mean, think about it like, think about the texture, think about the color. What does this all represent? You don't want to know, kids. You don't want to know. Okay, I think I mixed it enough. I hope I mixed it, and I'm gonna throw up right now. And we're gonna make some balls. That's what it's all about. It's about the balls. It's not about the meat, it's about the balls, stupid. Alright. It's a spicy meatball. I know what's going to happen too. I didn't cook with eggs, so there's going to be a lot of like falling apart, but that's fine. I mean, as long as the food, like that's the thing. It's like, okay, you're eating a meatball. Okay, fine, meatballs are good. but then they tell you, okay, we're gonna take away the egg, and you're like, I don't really mind. You can say that, like, you make an ideology in your head and go, oh, okay, no egg, everything else is fine. I don't mind having one less egg today. So, I mean, that's what you gotta think about. You don't have to think about the fact that, oh, it's gonna fall apart, because that's not relevant. It's a small portion. That's part of the texture and experience. It has nothing to do with the flavor, and, I mean, I know egg does have flavor, but in terms of, like, otherwise, you know, in the ideology, oh, I'm eating a meatball without an egg. You know, otherwise it has no big deal. It's no big concern. It has no bearing. I like how the onions have, like, it looks like little teeth are inside the meatballs. Like a rodent's teeth. I mean, I know it doesn't sound tasty, but it's funny to think about. The circle of life, kids. It moves us all. Some to tears, some to laughter, and some to both simultaneously. You ever see people smiling, or laughing and crying? You laugh so hard you cry, or you cry so hard that you can't handle it, you just go insane. You know, like what they say, and you know, the really insane people just cackle and howl and laugh all day. That's what it's got to be like. You know, you laugh to tears and tears to cry. They're so closely linked. I don't like this non-deep culture of our life where you have to have the two pictures, the two masks of drama. One is looking up, one is looking down. Like, oh, they're not related. No, they are related. They're like they're two sides of the same coin, and I know that's the truth. That's what dramatists understand. But ordinary human beings who don't act, who don't know how to, the secret to life, they don't understand that. You try and tell them, oh, I'm going to watch a comedy, oh, I'm going to watch a drama, and oh, they're two separate things. No, they're not two separate things. They're the same thing, but from a different perspective. A different perspective. You get that? Look at Mike Bronson over there doing his crossword puzzle. A 7-letter word for circular, eh? He's a good fella. You know, I just think he's annoying sometimes. But everyone, you know, you watch teenage high school shows, and there's always the annoying kid. But he's still the friend. He adds texture. He's like the little rodent teeth. So we have our balls. Let me wash my hands, and I'll reposition the camera above the pot so you can see them turning and hurting, rolling and rolling. Alright, well, the trick about cooking on a pan is that you want to first and foremost dab a little bit of water on it so you can see when it starts to boil or heat, when the heat is ready, and then you can put the oil on. Alright, there we go. It's starting to boil. Let me pour this out. I don't want to hit the oil with the water, because oil plus water, you know the old saying, oil and water don't mix. Oil plus water means don't mix. So let's try and get this going a little bit at a time. That might be too much, honestly, but that's okay. You gotta coat the pan. Maybe we'll put more just for the sake of it. This would be a good time to have a fire extinguisher by your side. That's why I thought fiery extinguisher would be my nice mate into eternity. But unfortunately, her and I have gone our separate ways. I don't blame her, and I do blame me. In case you didn't realize, fiery extinguisher was a transvestite. And I mean, I tell myself I'm progressive in terms of looking at people and not being guided by my animal instincts. But I know, you know, sex is important, and I could have sex with her, but it was a different kind of sex. It wasn't the kind of sex that's between, like, that's like automatic. That's what true love is. True love at first sight. There's something about being in love that you don't think about, you don't reflect. It's like a magnet. And there was trouble in that aspect because there wasn't that kind of magnetism. It was almost like carnal. I mean, I was still ideological and abstract with her. We could have deep conversations, and we really loved each other, but it just wasn't, you know, it wasn't the right kind of love. I realized I had forgotten to add the breadcrumbs, so they're not going to be as, you know, bready. There's the thing that holds them together. The breadcrumbs are good. I forgot. I don't know how that could have slipped my mind. Right now I'm going to add some sauce. Some basil and tomato sauce because they're about done, and this is good. And then I'll let them cook with the sauce for a little bit longer. Oh, the sauce, by the way, is basil and tomato, fresh onions. I guess it's got some, it doesn't overlap a bit because it has we have fresh onions in here already. We don't have basil in here. Well, they're not fresh onions. Of course, these aren't fresh onions in here either. It's a myth. Garlic too. There's gonna be a lot of garlic and onions in this thing. That's good though. Can never have too much of those. I'm gonna sprinkle cheese. I'm gonna put cheese on the top when I'm done. I washed my hands after. Yeah, I washed my hands after doing the meatballs, so it's safe to use this cheese. Just a little bit for flavor. Yeah, I have too much in my hands, so it'd have to be a little bit a lot. And afterwards, I'll sprinkle some on top when it's ready to serve, so it looks like this cheese as opposed to simply there being cheese. So right now, I reduced it to high, so because I added the cheese and the sauce. But now that it's a little bit hot, I'm going to reduce it to about 4. Alright, it looks like our food is ready. Our meatballs are done. Let's get these all cooking stuff set aside. Oh my goodness, those look scrumptious. Look at all the cheesy stuff in it. Let's give a zoomer. It looks perverse, but you know what it is. It's good because it's cheese. There's nothing perverse about cheese. In that sea of blood, no, it's not blood. It's tomato and basil. It's tomato and basil pasta sauce. You goof. So let's get these all set out for Mike Bronson. Alrighty, here we are. This is gonna save for later. Sell to someone as a microwave meal. But this here's Mike Bronson. So let's see if Mikey likes it. Hey Bronson, your meatballs are ready. Really? Man, this is great. Bon aperitif, slugger.
Thank you. This is scrumptious. It's a spicy meatball.
For me, from good old Mike Bronson. Well, I gotta say they're a little bit, tiny bit undercooked. You probably could have kept them boiling with that oil a little longer. They're not red or anything, they're gray, but they're not crisp on the outside. I like a meatball crisp on the outside. But still, you know, however haphazard you mix together these spices, they still came out tasty.